Hominis Imperium. Sovereign Man. Part 2. The Banking System. Brief history of banking. The history of banking began around 1000 BC in Assyria, Sumeria and India, when merchants would give corn loans to farmers. Then in the time of the Roman Empire, moneylenders would be based in temples. The Bardi and Peruzzi families dominated banking in the 14th century throughout Europe, and the Medici Bank in Italy was established by Giovanni Medici in 1397. Further developing in the Dutch Republic in the 17th century, and then in London in the 18th century. Modern banking. Technology has drastically altered the banking system throughout the developed world over recent years, to the extent that it has now completely taken over our lives. With the rise of central banks and the Rothschild empire, we have become, metaphorically speaking, slaves to the system. We are now living in a debt-laden world. Our labor is being manipulated by the system for profit. Currency. Pre-1931 in the United Kingdom, currency was backed by precious metals. Each note stated, "I promise to pay the bearer the amount of the worth of the note in sterling silver," hence the name given to the United Kingdom currency was sterling. It was worth what it said on the note. However, in 1931, the then Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald decreed the Arbitrary Act, moving us from the precious metal-backed system to the fiat system. From the Latin, "let it be done," which is backed by paper, or in other words, worthless. The £5 note. Old note. Old pound symbol backed by gold. New note. New pound symbol backed by nothing. Slaves to the banks. Not only individuals, but whole countries are now beholden to the banking system. The UK and USA owe much more fiat currency than they can ever pay back. The UK are paying more in interest than they are spending on the national health and defence. The banks fund both sides of wars and profit from our suffering, but what is ironic about it all is that it costs them nothing. They just print more money. If they want to buy Asda or Pepsi, they just print the money. If you go to the bank for a mortgage, death pledge, they generate the money on computer. It has cost them nothing. However, you will pay back 10 times that amount over 20 years of slavery. Exchange of services. In bygone days we traded our labor for services by barter, the exchange of something you own for someone's labor, or vice versa. When currency was introduced, it alleviated the problem of someone not having anything you need to trade. Pre-1931 it was not an issue, everyone got value for their labor. However, now that currency is backed by Sweet Fanny Adams, the banks can have your labor for free. The great illusion is what you see what you get. Imagine that there is £1 million in circulation, your pound is worth £1. Then the banks print £1 million and put it in circulation. How much is your pound worth now? 50 pence. Why? Because there is now twice the amount of money, which had devalued your pound by half. Everyone complains about the prices going up, but it is an illusion. They are not, prices are the same. People do not realize that the value of your pound has devalued because there is more money in circulation. The pound in your pocket is worth less, so your goods cost more. More money has been printed in the last 2 years than in all time previously. It's called quantitative easing, easing money into the coffers of the banks. Central bank digital currencies. As part of a global G20, the Financial Stability Board, FSB, and Committee on Payments and Market Infrastructures Initiative, the United Kingdom, United States, Europe and many other countries are getting ready to crash the fiat financial system and bring in CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. This will give total control of our lives to the banks, as is already happening in China today. The authorities are slowly drip-feeding the WEF, World Economic Forum, Agenda 2030, more about that later, into realization. Klaus Schwab, the founder and totally unelected head of the WEF, is trying to bring in their new world order. It started with the COVID lockdowns, now bringing in 15-minute cities. In the next few years, we will be going totally digital. CBDC will be the norm. Everyone will have their own digital wallet on their smartphone. The word smart is not really smart for us, only the people in control. Smartphones, smart meters, smart cities, smart banks. They will have total control over everything. Refuse the jab or do something they do not like and they will switch your smart bank account off. Be warned. What is happening? 1. Legislation. 2. The banks. 3. Big Pharma. 4. Big Tech. 5. The media. 6. Secret societies. These conglomerates own everything. BlackRock, Rothschild Banking, Vanguard, Rockefeller Pharmaceutical. What can we do? 1. Register your birth with the common law court. 2. Join local groups. 3. Stop watching the lies of BBC, CNN, etc. 4. Take back your sovereignty. Sovereignty is your inherent right. It is part of you and nobody can take it away. Lawmakers have given you your human rights, but it is an illusion. They are only giving you what you already own. You are either a man or a woman. Human equals the hue of man. A fictitious entity. Dead.